What's up, my friend David Moss Jr. here, and in today's video we've got the brand new Brooks Glycerin Max shoe. And in this video we're gonna do a full review of this, and no, it's not gonna be a bunch of clips of me running and all that fun stuff. I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about this shoe, why I purchased this shoe, and if it's a shoe you should consider for yourself or not. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the actual look. Now, if you're looking for a shoe that's going to turn heads and people are going to be like, man, what shoe is that? That is sick. This is probably not going to be that shoe. Typically, when you're buying a pair of Brooks, they don't really hit home runs when it comes to looks. I mean, you don't typically buy a Brooks shoe because it's turning heads. You buy a Brooks shoe because it's really comfortable for long distances, and that's kind of what they're known for. They're known for their comfort. So after I took it out of the box and got past that with her, I started to look at the shoe myself, and I'm not a runner by nature. I haven't been a runner for my entire life. The longest I've ever ran is a half marathon, but now I am changing that, and I want to be a distance runner. I want to start putting on some miles every single week. The problem I've been facing is I have a really wide foot. I'm 6'1", I weigh 210 pounds. I'm not built like a typical runner. I've been doing CrossFit and weightlifting for a long time, but people like Nick Bear and a couple other athletes have actually inspired me that, hey, you can still have muscle and be a distance runner. So that's what we're training for, and that's what we're going for. So once I got past the looks, I started to dive into the actual details of this shoe. And a couple of the details about this shoe that made me want to purchase it are the facts that it's built for road running. It has a pretty minimal drop. It has a 6mm drop, and it does have a 45mm stack height, which is gigantic. It's also not the lightest shoe. Depending on the size, this shoe is going to weigh anywhere between 9 ounces and just under 12 ounces. So it's a pretty heavy shoe with a massive stack height. Why I like that though is I'm a pretty heavy guy, so I am looking for cushion, and this shoe apparently has a lot of cushion, meaning as I'm running, I'm not going to feel the direct impact of the road. Now, what a lot of people have been talking about, and I became friends with a lot of runners and I've asked their opinion, and it was suggested to me to maybe purchase this shoe because of this, is that you do get a lot of cushion, but you also get incredible responsiveness, which basically what that means is as I'm running, have you ever ran in really, really soft shoes and it almost feels like you're running in sand? Because as you step down, you're hitting all that cushion, but nothing is springing you back up. Why you would want a shoe like this is if you wanted max cushion, which is what we're gonna get, but also some really incredible responsiveness, meaning it's gonna spring us back into our next step. So that's really one of the things that I'm really interested in the most about this shoe, is when I'm going on really long runs, is it gonna be able to maintain that cushion with responsiveness and be comfortable on my feet? Unfortunately, a lot of the shoes that I have tried in the past are really narrow in the toe box, and I do typically walk around barefoot, and a lot of the shoes that I wear have wider toe boxes. But when I buy shoes that are wide, they don't feel right. They feel too loose. Like they're not really made for wide toe boxes. The whole shoe is wider from the heel all the way to the toe, and I don't like that. I actually have purchased quite a few wide shoes in the past, and I'm like, I can't even wear these. They're not comfortable or supportive. So I'm hoping this shoe is going to change that. People are reporting that it does have a little bit more toe room, which I'm excited about, without having to purchase a wide version, which they currently don't offer anyway. If you were to purchase this shoe today, it is less expensive than most of the shoes in its class. It only comes in at $200 American, which is a lot for a running shoe. When you compare it to a lot of the shoes in the long distance running class, it is lower on that scale. A few other things to note when it comes to just the overall look and feel. There's a ton of cushion around the ankle, which I'm hoping is going to lead to long comfort as you're running long distances. The upper is a little thicker than most of the other shoes that I've played around with, and the midsole is gigantic. It does have the DNA tuned midsole, which is really cool. Once again, supposed to give us max cushion and responsiveness, but that thing is just gigantic. It just takes up like 80% of the shoe. And then when you look at the bottom, it does have some really grippy rubber on the bottom, which is nice. But what's cool is it's not connected, so that is gonna give you a little bit more freedom when it comes to the run, from what I'm reading and understanding when it comes to running. So if you are running on wet surfaces or different surfaces like bricks and then pavers and then concrete and then maybe even some decking that could be a little wet and slippery, you are gonna have a little bit more grip on this shoe than most of the other shoes in its class. And the laces are just basic laces. There's nothing fancy about them. They also only come in this one colorway currently. There was another colorway which I really liked, but I haven't been able to find that anywhere, so I ended up getting this colorway, which is white with a little yellow and blue. So that's the majority of the details. Let's try this on for the first time, and I'm gonna go for a little run in them. So before I go actually running in these things, I actually want to just kind of talk about my first impressions of being in them. So I definitely feel like a foot taller. That massive stack height is going to lift you off the ground a lot, but they're really comfortable. I can say this, that like some of the other running shoes that I have been in, I do feel a little bit like I'm angled forward, almost like I'm wearing Olympic weightlifting shoes where your heel is elevated. Obviously much more than your toes. These feel a little bit more neutral, which is nice. I'm looking for a shoe that's a little bit more neutral, so these are pretty good. I don't feel my pinky toe getting smushed in like I feel in a majority of every other running shoe that I've ever put on, which is nice. Obviously time will tell when I go for a run, but they definitely feel comfortable. They are a little bit on the heavier side, but I mean, that kind of comes with the territory of having a max cushion shoe. It's kind of hard to have all that cushion and make them super light too. But these are really gonna be for my long, slow, easy runs anyway. I don't plan on wearing these in any marathons or anything like that, but when I am going for long distance, slow runs, that's really what I plan on wearing these for. Let's go run. So now I'm gonna go for a quick 2 miles and just really see how the shoe feels after 2 miles. I'm not gonna put a lot of footage of me running and waste a lot of your time. I purchased the shoe with my own money. This is a fully unbiased opinion and review of somebody who's a little on the heavier side, who just started running and is looking for a shoe that they can put on some miles without feeling pain. And my beautiful wife's gonna come with me.
We'll try.
All right, so 1 mile in, and I guess my honest feelings about these shoes are they'd be really good for really slow days where you really want max cushion, save your ankles, save your feet, save your hips, but you want to go long, because they do have a lot of cushion. They do have a decent amount of spring, but if you've ever ran in carbon plated shoes, there's really no comparison. The carbon plate really just pushes you forward. It makes you want to keep going and makes you want to go a little faster, but these don't. These, I feel, they keep you at a slower pace. And that's probably why you don't see a lot of people really wearing these shoes often. I know a lot of runners who have recommended this shoe for me because I'm a little heavier and I'm kind of new to running. And I'm sure the recommendations are based off that, but also based off the fact that, you know, when you're new to running and you're trying to go longer distances, ankle pain, knee pain, foot pain, hip pain is all part of the process. And I could see how these shoes would be a great start. If you're someone out there who's a little heavier, or maybe you're brand new to running, but you want to start putting on some miles, I think I would be able to recommend these shoes to somebody like that. But if you're lighter, you did track when you were younger, and you just want to get back into running, there's probably a lot of shoes out there that are better than these. And also, one of the biggest pros, if you have a wider foot and you're used to wearing barefoot shoes, have a wider toe box. Typically my pinky, after about a mile, would start to feel crammed. As far as comfort, I would give these a 10. Most comfortable shoe out of the box that I put on as far as running shoes. But one more thing just came to mind. If you are somebody looking for a really comfortable pair of shoes to walk long distances on, these are not them. Matter of fact, every step I take when we're doing a little break and we're walking, feel like I'm stepping into some sticky quicksand. Because once again, very cushiony shoe, and that's all you plan on doing is walking or fast walking. There's a bunch of other shoes out there that'd be better for that. So I would not recommend these for going to Disneyland. All right, well, 2 miles down. Truthfully, like I said during my run, and I just want to recap, very comfortable shoe. Definitely have max cushion, have decent responsiveness. Like if I had to rate everything, I would say as far as slow paced, easy long runs, great shoe. Great shoe for that. Walking, bad shoe. Definitely too cushiony for walking. It wants to propel you forward a little bit when you're in the middle of your run, but when you're walking, it almost like squishes a little too much. It's not meant for walking, which a lot of people don't know that. You buy these really expensive, really comfortable long distance running shoes and you go to a theme park and your feet kill you when you get done. I've heard that from relatives and friends alike. So if I was looking for a shoe for a low, easy, long day, this would be a great shoe for that. If I was looking for a shoe for long distance walking, power walking, not a great shoe for that. If I was looking for a speed shoe, a shoe for maybe if I was gonna go for 2 to 8 mile day, this wouldn't be a great shoe for that either if I was working on speed or tempo, just because there's a lot of other better shoes out there. So in summary, Brooks Glycerin Max shoe is a really good cushiony shoe for those low, slow, long days, easy days. Anything other than that, I would recommend a bunch of other shoes over these. And I will be reviewing, I ended up purchasing like 6 different running shoes, and I plan on doing these short shoe reviews just to help other people out there who are like me. I'm not a runner, or I haven't been a runner in my life. Never did track. Longest I've ever ran is a half marathon, but I want to start pushing myself, running longer distances and becoming more of a hybrid athlete. But I'm larger. I'm 210 pounds, 6'1", and have a wider foot. So a lot of the running shoes that my friends wear don't work for me. They just don't. So I want to try to help you. If you're just like me, I want to try to help you find the perfect running shoe. And if you have a shoe that you highly recommend, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to try those out. And make sure that you subscribe and like this video if you want to see more shoe reviews, not just for running, but also for CrossFit and everyday life. You know, I feel like there's a billion different shoes out there, and there's a lot of shoes out there that are really harmful for our feet, and there's very few shoes out there that are actually helpful for our feet, and I want to try to find those for us. So make sure you like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Hope you guys have a great day, and God bless. Hey, and before you go, I really think you should check out this video next. So I was mentioning carbon plated shoes. I've done some work with Tier in the past. I love Tier shoes. They do have wider toe box shoes for CrossFit, and they just came out with some new running shoes with carbon plates. I did a full review of their entire new lineup of shoes. They're awesome. I really enjoy all of them. So check that out next. It's right here. Cool. Later, guys.